CIA Director Mike Pompeo is on Capitol Hill this week meeting with senators and trying to win their approval for his nomination to be Secretary of State. He didn't answer a question from reporters about his recent trip to North Korea, saying only, "I'm just here working every vote," according to CBS News. Secretaries of State generally enjoy very broad if not unanimous support both in the Foreign Relations Committee and on the floor, CBS News' Nancy Cordes notes. Traditionally, senators have believed that it is important to show widespread faith in the person who will be the nation's top diplomat, even if they have some policy differences with that person. Trump makes predictions on confirmation of Pompeo as Secretary of State. If the senators on the Foreign Relations Committee who say they oppose Mike Pompeo remain steadfast, he is poised to be the first Secretary of State nominee not to be approved by committee votes since 1925, when committee votes were first made public. One member, Tim Kaine, a Democrat, told CBS News' Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation that he'll vote no. Jeanne Shaheen, also a Democrat, had backed him for CIA director, enabling him to be approved by the committee, which is made up of 11 Republicans and 10 Democrats, despite GOP Sen. Rand Paul's opposition. Now, Shaheen also says she's voting against Pompeo, and Paul still opposes him, along with the rest of the Democrats on the committee, including ranking member Sen. Bob Menendez. Senate Foreign Relations Chairman Bob Corker says the committee will vote next week on Pompeo's nomination, according to Bloomberg. Whether or not he's approved by the committee, he'll still face a vote on the Senate floor. When Pompeo was confirmed as CIA director in January last year, the Senate looked a little different. Republicans held a slim majority of 52 to 48. That count includes 2 independents who caucus with Democrats. At that time, most but not all Democrats voted against Pompeo, but he still won over 14, and 2 did not vote. The 2 independents split. Angus King, of Maine, voted for him, while Bernie Sanders, of Vermont, opposed him. Of those who voted against him, 1 was a Republican, Sen. Rand Paul, of Kentucky. Here are the Democrats who supported him for CIA director, as well as the 2 who abstained. Democratic yea votes: Joe Donnelly, D. Indiana Dianne Feinstein, D. California Maggie Hassan, D. New Hampshire Heidi Heitkamp, D. North Dakota Tim Kaine, D. Virginia Amy Klobuchar, D. Minnesota Joe Manchin, D. West Virginia Claire McCaskill, D. Missouri Jack Reed, D. Rhode Island Brian Schatz, D. Hawaii Charles Schumer, D. New York Jen Shaheen, D. New Hampshire Mark Warner, D. Virginia Sheldon Whitehouse, D. Rhode Island Independent yea vote: Angus King, I Maine didn't vote. Richard Blumenthal, D. Connecticut Chris Murphy, D. Connecticut. In April 2018, the GOP margin is even slimmer. Alabama now has a Democratic Senator, Doug Jones. That made the split 51 to 49. And there's another factor now, too. John McCain is battling brain cancer at home in Arizona. That means that effectively, for the time being, the Senate is now split 50 to 49. Rand Paul has announced that he'll oppose Pompeo again, so that means that if every other Republican votes for Pompeo, he'll still need 1 Democrat to vote in order to be confirmed. However, after President Trump said Wednesday that Paul has never let me down and I don't think he'll let us down again, the Kentucky Republican agreed to meet with Pompeo before the committee vote, but he said, "At this point, I think it would take a great deal to move me." He said his main complaint about Pompeo has always been, "I don't think he shares the same vision as the president on foreign policy." Pompeo may be making inroads with Sen. Bill Nelson, too. The Florida Democrat voted against him for CIA director, but he told reporters Wednesday that the trip to North Korea put Pompeo in a better light. He supports the trip and said he had voted against Pompeo as CIA director because he thought he would be too political. Now, on the Secretary of State vote, Nelson says he's undecided. Otherwise, support among Democrats is not as strong as it was for Pompeo's confirmation as CIA director. Some of the Democrats who supported him last time have already announced their opposition, and not a single Democrat has yet promised to support him. Jones, the recently elected Democratic senator from Alabama, has said he's open to supporting him. Jeff Flake, a Republican who voted yes on Pompeo for CIA director, said he is undecided. Of those on the list above, here's where they stand. Nay, Richard Blumenthal, D. Connecticut Dianne Feinstein, D. California Tim Kaine, D. Virginia Jeanne Shaheen, D. New Hampshire Amy Klobuchar, D. Minnesota Chris Murphy, D. Connecticut Brian Schatz, D. Hawaii Sheldon Whitehouse, D. Rhode Island not known Joe Donnelly, D. Indiana Maggie Hassan, D. New Hampshire Heidi Heitkamp, D. North Dakota Jack Reed, D. Rhode Island Mark Warner, D. Virginia undecided Angus King, I Maine Joe Manchin, D. West Virginia Claire McCaskill, D. Missouri Charles Schumer, D. New York